Hey there, when I thought about this assignment, I figured the best starting place was here in my hometown of Park Hills, here where me and my family reside, and this is the McMillans. So when I thought about this assignment the last few weeks, it really became kind of a reflective exercise for me, thinking about how I had changed as a leader over time. And really a lot of that transformation really happened in my 20s when I started changing the roles in my life. Before that, I thought somehow I needed to be some frontline leader that was going to change the world. I volunteered for national campaigns. I even worked as a speechwriter for a period of time on a campaign. And it was only after the roles in my life changed I started realizing really where I wanted to lead was in a much different kind of way. I wanted to change my perspective and really change my range, change just how wide I was casting my nets and where I was casting those nets. But to talk about that, we probably ought to talk for a moment about how I got to where I am now. To understand how my life roles changed and how I transitioned, we probably need to start in my 20s.
And I've made it back to grad school, and I guess more importantly, I found a girl. And after she was foolish enough to say yes, well, we still kind of stayed on our journey of exploration. Now, if you do the math, that's going to be about 30 years, and I'm just now starting my 4th decade in the world. So in other words, it took me a long time to reach some kind of self-actualization and to start thinking about others more demonstrably than myself. And I think it's important that I share that side of my history because it makes it so much more important that I live for the consideration and pay attention to others.
It was finally becoming a father that started to change things and change my focus. You know, Martin Buber talked about the difference in relationships between the I and the it and the I and the we. And I'm trying to adapt some of that in my own life, both in the micro and the macro. Stop thinking about how the world impacts me and how I can impact it. In leadership circles, we talk about servant leadership, and that's what I'm trying to aspire to focus on in my own life. Lifting others up in places where I can lead and not worrying so much about where it gets me. There are a lot of roles that I serve now in my life and a lot of relationships, and I'm trying to constantly think about how I impact those around me and those that I care about, because I know how much they impact me and how much they better my own life.
Husband.
Uncle.
Brother.
In-law. Son.
Brother from another brother.
Kink. Go Hoosiers.
Big Bear.
Armand at the HB.
Friend.
Daddy.
You know, Faulkner also said, we have to start teaching ourselves not to be afraid. Don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or your predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. And so now as I move forward and think about how I can become a leader, I want to think about not how it benefits me, but how I can do more to help the folks around me. So even though this has been really kind of a reflective exercise for me, thinking about how I've changed as a leader over time and what's important to me, I really should talk too, before closing, about how the EDD program has shaped me. There are a number of things that I've really learned both through the experience of the program and in the exposure to the curriculum that I really feel like has given me some tools to actually apply what I want to do to the goals that I have. Many of the things that I want to do having an impact on family, on community, on my neighborhood, I think really have been brought into focus with some of the work and some of the exercises, with some of the people in my cohort sharing their ideas and their ideals and their dreams, some of the faculty sharing their expertise. And so there's no doubt that the 2 years that I've spent in the EDD program has really shaped and really enhanced and brought focus to what it is I want to be. So here we are back in our little community park here in Park Hills, where I get to be a partner with my wife raising our kids, I get to be a dad, and I get to try to participate in making changes in our community. And I hope I take all the leadership things I've learned from EDD and from 40 years of living and try to make an impact where things are most important to us. Thank you all. In closing, I want to thank a few folks. We've had a really trying time the last couple of weeks, and I really appreciate my family who continues to let me check out at times in some evenings to get work done. I want to thank our cousin Maddie who helped me actually splice this together in time for our meeting on Saturday. And I want to thank all our family and friends who continue to support us.